Love should be easy. Why should it not?
All right, next question is from Aichan95. She says, Georgie Dono, George Lord, Feudal Lord George. Did you ever, I believe that's what Dono means. I don't even know, it's been so long. Someone, if you want to give me another, Aichan, what does Dono actually mean? Is it, I believe it's like when you're talking to your very higher up, it's like it's above Sama. But, no one uses this in everyday normal life except you. Feudal Lord, is it Feudal Lord? All right. Okay. All right. Aichan95 says, Joji Dono, did you ever hit a wall when you were learning Japanese? If so, how long did you stay away from it? And what inspired you not to give up? Let's talk about this wall. Did I hit a wall? I do not remember. I honestly don't remember. But I have talked about the wall, okay, in these terms to my students, okay, when I taught Japanese class. I said, this is how it works, right? So you learn Japanese, right? You feverishly learn how to count. You're like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You learn the colors. You learn how to say, where is it, doko desu ka? And you learn these real basic things, right? But then you meet a Japanese person. And that's not enough to talk to people. Dust in the air. I'm sure to grab some dust in the air. So I'm too excited. There's like dust all over the place. That's not enough to talk to people, right? So you feel stuck. You're like, I almost said a bad word, but I won't. It's like, you're like, dang it, my Japanese isn't good enough. And you sit there, like I remember, when I was, you know what? I did hit a wall. No, I didn't hit a wall, but I do remember being frustrated. And I've told this story before, but I met this girl on the ferry to Hokkaido. And her name was Asako Mikami. Mikami Asako. I remember, I will never forget because I loved her because she was cute. All right. And I wrote her a letter and she wrote me a letter. And then one day we were talking on the phone. And I remember I could not figure out how to ask, what's your favorite color? I couldn't. I didn't know how to say this very simple phrase. Sukina iro wa nan desu ka? I knew how to say, iro wa nan desu ka? What is a color? But that makes no sense. I missed the key, sukina. And it took me like 3 hours to be, iro suki desu ka? Do you like color? It didn't, it just didn't work. But that might have put me at a point where I got very upset and I felt like I was at a wall. But I'm not that type of personality. Typically when I get stuck, I get pissed. And I say, you know what? I'm not going to let this language beat me because I'm smarter than the language. And if 100 other, literally 100 million people plus have learned Japanese, you can learn it. And do you know that every single year, over 200,000 people take the Japanese proficiency test around the world? 200,000! That's a lot of people taking that test. So if they can do it, you can do it. All right? Now, this is what I used to tell my students. So say, as you learn Japanese, okay, you're going to get to a plateau where you feel like you're not making any progress. It's literally like climbing a mountain. We've talked about this before. You're climbing a mountain. Language is this mountain. And step by step, you've got to go up it. But sometimes you get to a plateau where it's like, oh man. And you stand at this plateau. You're standing on this plateau and you look up and it's like, oh my God, I thought I climbed a lot, but look what I got left. And you failed to look back and see how far you've come. Because if you go to Japan, you're going to realize you speak more than you know. Because, I say this all the time and it is so true. And those of you who are in the chat room, get ready. Here it comes. You know it. I say it almost every daily now. Chiri mo tsumoreba yama to naru. Even specks of dust, when piled up, become a mountain. For example, I'm going to write a piece. Give me a second. I'll show you something. There's an amazing thing about the human brain. The human brain is literally the most amazing thing ever. If you teach the human brain something, it can't not know it. It can't not know what it learned. Does that make sense? For example, if I said to you 1 + 1, you can't not know that that's 2. You can fake not knowing, but you can't not solve that problem in your brain. Here's another one. 2 × 2. Everyone right now in their mind saw the 4. Here, I'm going to give you a word. I'm going to write it in hiragana even. Ready? I'm going to show you a word. Don't comprehend it. Don't understand it. You realize how weird that sounds? It doesn't even make sense to say it. Hey, could you not understand what I'm saying just for a second? You can't say that. It's not possible. It's why when you're driving in your car and you see a billboard, you can't not read it. You get the message delivered to your brain. I'm going to show you this word. Don't understand it. Ready? Yep. That's it right there. Now, some of you might have got confused. Oh, the here gone on. I thought it was a ne. No, it's a new. Inu. 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 You can't not know it. You can't not know it. It's dog, and you immediately. If I said to you a word and you didn't know it, neko. If you didn't know it, you wouldn't hear it, but you know it, and you can't not see a cat when you hear it. So there is no plateau for real. It's a mental state of you thinking you suck. Guess what? Everyone sucks in the beginning. But as you learn words, the way it works is this. You hear this. This is what Japanese is in the beginning. Don't know where a word starts. Don't know where a word ends. Then you hear about these particles called wa and ga and mo and ni and o, and you start hearing patterns. You know, you hear these patterns and you start, oh, well, now I'm starting to see where words are ending because I know that pretty much particles are you realize that, or you realize how particles, and then you start learning more and more and more words, and all of a sudden, neko ga desu ka? You didn't understand the middle part, but you understood almost everything else. And before long, your brain automatically, by the way, I'm not smart at all. I just learned more stuff than you. That's the only difference between me and you. I learned more than you, and my brain has more information in it. That's it. I'm learning Korean now, and I can tell you, I blow myself away because I hear the same Korean songs I've been listening to. I cannot for the life of me memorize the lyrics because I don't know any of the words, right? But now I'm learning. Every single day I'm learning new words, right? And now I hear it. And I hear verb patterns now. Even though I don't know the verb, I know that shipoyo means want to do. Like if you knew that shitai, ikitai, tabetai, that tai means want to do. You'll start hearing the pattern even if you don't know the verb. In Korean, I'm hearing the negative verb pattern, and I don't even know the verb that they're talking about. I just know, oh, they said something like, kimasen deshita, masen deshita. Oh, masen deshita in Japanese is didn't do. I don't know what they didn't do, but I know I heard it. So your job, Ai-chan, your job is very simple, and the plan for everybody learning Japanese is really, really simple. Learn patterns, learn verbs, learn adjectives, learn nouns, and keep hammering and hammering and hammering and hammering. And what will happen is, blah, 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 will start sounding like something that you understand. It will happen automatically. Matter of fact, there will be a day where all of a sudden, you'll be watching Japanese TV and you'll be zoning out. Maybe you're playing Tetris. Maybe you're on your iPhone playing Drop 7, which is a game I like to play, and you'll hear a phrase, and without any effort on your part, you'll understand it. And you'll know. You'll know, I'm there. I've hit a level of fluency because all I did was I fed my brain. So don't get stuck. Move forward. The only reason you get stuck is if you stop. It's like the stock market. You only lose money when you, well, I guess if the company goes out of business, and if you sell the stock when it's down, right? So don't sell your language when it's down. Keep it going. Keep pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, pushing it, and you will. You cannot not get fluent. Does that make sense? You cannot not get fluent. I think I said what I wanted to say on that. I love that question. It's an excellent question. And the only reason I'm fluent is because I learned more words than you. That's it. That's it. It's the only reason anyone gets fluent. Why do you think these guys in the chat room are so good? They study every day, right? They're not going to be the best. I'm not even the best. But guess what? I understand what's told to me because I learned all the words. And will you make mistakes? Yes. Will you forget half the things that you learned? Yes. Here's the thing, though. If you forget half of what you learned, learn it again and you'll learn the other 25%. Keep learning. Eventually you'll get them all. Eventually it's a matter of time. Thank you for the question.